Cardi B was called an angel by one of the family members of the 17 victims of a deadly apartment fire in the Bronx. Haji Doucouré, who lost 5 family members in the tragic blaze on January 9, recently spoke to TMZ and expressed his gratitude for the 29-year-old performer's charitable actions. The rapper, who is a native of the New York City borough, previously announced that she would be covering both funeral and burial costs for the victims of the fire. Although Doucouré said he wasn't aware of who Cardi was prior to the blaze, he said he was indebted to her for her kindness and willingness to offer her help after the tragedy. Cardi B, you are an angel. I can't thank you, you know, my family cannot thank you enough for what you've done, he told the publication. I don't know you, I'm sure you've never heard of my family. All I could do is pray to Allah for you. May Allah give you all your wishes and grant you everything in this world and in the hereafter for all that you're asking for. He went on to express that her charitable actions took a considerable burden off of the shoulders of both himself and the rest of his loved ones. I have 5 family members that I'm planning to bury, and the financial aspect. We all know how expensive it can be. And for me not to worry about the cost at all, it was just a huge help and a huge relief for my family, he said. He concluded with pledges to pray for the hitmaker after her charitable deed. I didn't know it was Cardi B that's responsible for that. I mean, knowing now that she is the one responsible, I just have to pray for her and thank her for being that angel that really stepped up to help my family, he said. The Bodak Yellow rapper previously made an announcement regarding her actions and noted that she was more than happy to offer assistance to the residents of her native borough. I'm extremely proud to be from the Bronx and I have lots of family and friends who live and work there still. So, when I heard about the fire and all of the victims, I knew I needed to do something to help, said the Grammy-winning recording artist in a statement released Wednesday through the New York City mayor's office. I cannot begin to imagine the pain and anguish that the families of the victims are experiencing, but I hope that not having to worry about the costs associated with burying their loved ones will help as they move forward and heal, she continued. I send my prayers and condolences to everyone affected by this horrific tragedy. The city says the partnership with Cardi, real name, Belkulis Almansar, will include the costs of repatriation expenses for some victims buried in the Gambia, where many of the 19-story building's residents are from. The average funeral in the U.S. costs $7,848 per person, according to the National Funeral Directors Association, meaning Cardi is on the hook for at least $133,416. The 17 victims ranged in age from 2 to 50 and died from smoke inhalation caused by a faulty space heater in a third-floor unit that investigators believe was left running uninterrupted for days. Mayor Eric Adams said, "We are grateful for Cardi B, a real superstar on and off the mic, for granting some critical financial relief to families of the victims. The city will be forever thankful to her and also to the grassroots donors and corporate partners who have been able to offer immediate support for our neighbors in need, to re-establish themselves during this difficult time." It is unclear how much money she donated to the city's fund, which has already raised more than $2.5 million. The mayor's office did not immediately respond to a request for comment from Daily Mail. Cardi was raised in the Highbridge neighborhood and attended Herbert H. Lehman High School in the Bronx. She often references the borough in her music, like in the 2017 song Bronx Season. The rapper is known for her extravagant giving. She presented her husband, rapper Offset of Migos, with a $2 million check at his birthday party last month, TMZ reports. On Sunday, New York Lieutenant Governor Brian Benjamin announced that the state of New York would be granting $2 million to a fund for the victims. The fund will provide tenants with case management services, personal property replacement, and relocation and rental assistance to help address critical household needs, according to a press release from Governor Kathy Hochul's office. Fat Joe, a Bronx native, also started a relief fund for those affected by the fire, and has received contributions from Jay-Z and DJ Khaled. "I need all my people worldwide to come together for the families devastated by the fire in the Bronx," he wrote on Instagram last week. "I'm donating and I'm asking everyone that has a heart to donate. These people are mostly immigrants that have nowhere to go. They lost everything. It's 10 degrees in the Bronx today." Officials blamed a faulty space heater in a third-floor apartment for the blaze, which spewed plumes of suffocating smoke that quickly rose through the stairwell of the 19-story building. Fire officials also found that the entry door to the unit where the flames ignited failed to automatically close, as it is designed to do, when the family residing inside fled. Some residents said space heaters were sometimes needed to supplement the building's heat and that repairs weren't always timely. The fire at the 19-story Twin Parks Northwest building was New York City's deadliest since 1990. All 17 victims of the horrific January 9 fire have since been named. The deceased are, Fatimata Drami, 50, Fatmala Drami, 21, Mohammed Drami, 12, Numa Aisha Drami, 19, Haji Dukari, 49, Fatimata Dukare, 5, Aja Dukare, 37, Mariam Dukare, 11, Mustafa Dukare, 12, Omar Jambang, 6, Sirajane, 27, Hawa Mohamedo, 5, Saidu Ture, 12, Fatimata Tankara, 43, Issa Tujabi, 31, Hagi Jawara, 47, Usman Kante, 2. In addition, the fire also left 32 people hospitalized and 63 people in total were injured. In the wake of the deaths, a coalition of officials, including federal, state and city lawmakers, announced a legislative agenda they hoped would stiffen fire codes and building standards to prevent similar tragedies from happening. On Sunday, more than 24 men came together to push 15 caskets down Bronx streets, as the close-knit Gambian community came together to mourn those who died in the fire. A long line of black hearses began lining up outside the Islamic Cultural Center in Fordham Heights just after 10 a.m., according to the New York Times, and the men soon gathered around the caskets to transport the remains of their friends and family into the front of the prayer hall. Hundreds of mourners were gathered inside to pay their final respects to 15 of the 17 victims of a Bronx apartment building fire, with women on the second floor consoling each other as the men prayed below. Many hundreds more sat in tents lining East 166th Street and the concourse section of the Bronx, where they peeked through windows or watched the funeral service via live stream. The services were beamed onto jumbo screens outside and in other rooms of the mosque. At one point, 2 ambulances were arrived outside of the Islamic Center, with security officials telling crowds to disperse as EMS personnel carried an apparently unconscious woman from the building. Fire officials told Daily Mail. they received reports of an ill person at the service at around 11:50 a.m. and 2 people were transported to a local hospital. Their identities and the condition they are in have not yet been released. The mass funeral capped a week of prayers and mourning within a close-knit community hailing from West Africa, most with connections to the tiny country of Gambia. "This is a sad situation. But everything comes from God. Tragedies always happen, we just thank Allah that we can all come together," said Haji Dukare, the uncle of Aja Dukare, who died with 3 of her children and her husband. "1 week they were with us. Now they're gone," said Musa Kaba, the imam at the Masjid Ur Rahma mosque, where many of the deceased had prayed. Meanwhile, the owners of the Bronx apartment building are being sued for $3 billion by at least 22 people who suffered pain, shock and mental anguish in the horrific fire, according to a new filing. Rosa Reyes and Felix Martinez, who are married, were first to be represented in a class action suit against the owners of 333 East 181 Street, where a space heater sparked the city's deadliest fire in decades on Sunday. Martinez is currently clinging to life on a ventilator after getting lost in a darkened stairwell and being overcome by smoke, his lawyer said. As of last week, 20 others had joined the lawsuit after a preliminary investigation revealed a maintenance issue might have prevented the fire from being contained to the original third-floor unit. City inspectors cited the Bronx high-rise at least 6 times for failing to maintain self-closing doors in the complex. Residents of 333 East 181st Street have complained of lack of heat and malfunctions with their self-closing doors, which fire investigators said contributed to the spread of toxic smoke throughout the complex. Building management was issued door-related citations between 2013 and 2019, New York City Department of Housing Preservation and Development, HPD, records obtained by the New York Post revealed. Mamadou Wague, who rushed to flee with his wife and 8 kids after a fire broke out in his third-floor duplex apartment on Sunday, said the doors in his unit, which are designed to close automatically, get stuck if pushed open too far. "When you push the door all the way to the edge, it didn't close by itself," the West African immigrant father of 8 told the Post. "I actually thought later that the door had shut, but the fire department people told me it had stayed open." One list of complaints against the property from the last month detailed how residents complained about not having any heat. Although building officials state the complex was heated, the minimum temperature requirement in NYC is only 68 degrees Fahrenheit, which some residents claim is too cold.